Hello everyone, Soul Rising. Welcome back to my channel. I am your chocolate priestess here, where we explore the hidden realms of the soul, harness the power of energy shifts, and embark on a profound healing journey beyond religious beliefs. Today I want to talk to you about the Venus retrograde, because it has went into retrograde probably yesterday. Well, as I'm recording this, it's the 23rd of July. But yes, today I want to discuss Venus retrograde and how the planet Venus has waltzed itself into retrograde, and does the Leo's fire reveal what truly matters in our lives and brings us love that is real. And the reason being I mentioned the sign of Leo is because not only it is Leo season, so happy birthday to all the Leos. By the time you were watching this video, the Leo season reading has already been out, and I recommend y'all go check it out after this video, okay? Because it'll go hand in hand. Literally, it will go hand in hand with each other. And then also Venus will be in the sign of Leo as it's in retrograde. So first things first, what is a retrograde? What is a retrograde? If you don't know by now, well, let's go ahead and give you a gist of what's going on. So retrograde is when a planet is moving backwards, or is presumed to look like it is moving in a backwards motion, as well as backwards direction. I mean, that it's just plain and simple, just simple as that. It also is indicating when planets go into retrograde, it's a time for self-reflection, as well as, of course, things will begin to slow down, and it may seem like there's some misunderstandings, miscommunications, people going at it with each other, maybe problems going on in your relationship or communication, or yourself or others, and all that other aspect as well. But it is mainly a time, if we're going to utilize this time in retrograde, to rethink everything, redo everything, revision, whatever the prefix has associated with a particular word. That is something that is recommended to do during those times. Redo, rethink, revision. You may have people reappear all of a sudden. That plays into a factor as well, especially when you notice the patterns. Okay, and that's why I'm going by the thing of knowing the synchronicities in 2023. Not only does it rhyme, but also is going to show you the patterns that you are encountering within your day-to-day lives, or monthly, weekly, as well as the years that has passed by. So without, because you know how the saying goes, history repeats itself. And if the lesson has not been learned, then it's going to come back again to see whether you will learn it again. All right. So the next thing, now that we got that out the way, the next thing I want to talk about is Venus retrograde. Now that we got the basic definition of retrograde and what it is, now let's tie in the planet Venus with retrograde, because everybody knows about Mercury retrograde. Okay. Well, a good handful of people know about Mercury retrograde. Okay. But we're going to go with the Venus retrograde this time. That's what I'm going to talk about. Yes, I already did a video once before talking about Mercury retrograde, but this time I want to mention Venus retrograde. Why? Because in my annual predictions or annual outlook, that's how I named the video, annual outlook reading. Check it out as well during your leisure. I mentioned that relationships were going to get tested at its all-time high this year. To say the least. It has, whether it has with me, it has with under other individuals that I speak with on a day-to-day or weekly basis, as well as a universal standpoint with all these divorces that are happening, or people. Well, I hardly heard anybody getting married this year. It was more divorces happening this year than marriage announcements. Besides my cousin did get married this year, but that's the only one I know so far that got in a personal standpoint of of far as like relationship wise. But it doesn't have to necessarily be with romantic. It could be with it could be with platonic relationships, friendships, business partnerships, work relationships, the any type of form relationship, situationships, a relationship between you and your higher self, a relationship between you and the divine source, God, Allah, whomever you worship in your particular religion. I stated that not religion, but religion does play a factor into that as well. But I did state that the relationships, due to the energy of the universal year that we're in, the number seven holds spirituality for one thing. Also, it I associated with the crown chakra because the crown chakra is the seventh main chakra within the energy system. I mean, there's plenty of chakras that we have, but of course, with the main seven, the crown chakra is number seven. And with the crown chakra is dealing with the higher powers, your higher self, the oneness and all. And then I of course I go a little bit further. I associate the number seven with the seventh house. Seventh house is dealing with the judicial system. There is a lot of cases, investigations that have been unfolding this year as well. There's also been of course, this number seven energy holds the marriage relationship aspect. So I went a little bit deeper with that. Agreements, whether it's with contracts, with businesses, houses, stuff like that, all that in all contractual agreements holds within that number seven energy as well. And then I go a little bit further. Well, the number seven, the seventh house, it's associated with the zodiac sign of Libra. Libra is dealing with balance, is dealing with the judicial system, is dealing with beauty. Um, and of course, I bring it right on back to what? Venus, because Libra, Venus, the planet Venus, the planet ruler Venus, the signs that are associated with Venus is Taurus and Libra. Okay, so you see how everything comes back tenfold. Okay, I hope I ain't lost you, but again, it's just reassuring of what I have been stating ever since I've done my annual outlook reading. So with Venus being in retrograde, so what is in what is Venus retrograde going to have us learning during this time? Well, it is a time to review who we love and what we value, how we dress, how we style our hair, how we imagine home decor, things that we enjoy, all the beauty aspect, all that goes hand in hand with the planet Venus. Okay, and then with retrograde added into Venus, of course, it'll be a time to review what things you have encountered during this time. All right, now it may be a period of delusion as well. You may be seem delusional, or you may come across people that are a little bit delusional. It's okay. All right. But how often does the planet Venus go into retrograde? Well, every 18 months. It lasts about 40 to 43 days, at least. Now, the planet Venus, again, it rules the love, beauty, taste, and desires, dealing with charm and grace. Okay, the zodiac signs associated with the planet Venus is Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign, and Taurus is associated with the root chakra. And then of course it is associated with the planet, not planet, my gosh, the zodiac sign of Libra. Libra is a cardinal air sign, meaning it is associated with the heart chakra. Okay, so it's a good time to now that I went in depth to that aspect, it is a good time to work on rooting yourself, right? Because that's where your values lie, your safety, your security, your survival, and also to review what lies within the heart. What do you really want? What is your true heart desire within this period that you would like to close out, and then be able, whenever the planet Venus go back into direct, then you can be able to move forward in what your heart desires. Okay, so there are other planets that play a factor as well, with Venus being in retrograde. However, Venus retrograde is going to last up till September 3rd, which is my dad's birthday. Okay. But yeah, so there are other planets that are in retrograde. Let's see, Saturn in Pisces is still in retrograde. Neptune in Pisces is still in retrograde. And let's see, Pluto in Capricorn is still in retrograde. The North Node in Aries, is it in retrograde yet? I believe it is. And then of course Chiron, that's in the sign of Aries, is in retrograde as well. The Chiron in Aries, it's going into retrograde about the same time frame as Venus going into retrograde. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're dealing with the Chiron, with the wounded healer. You're dealing with the North Node, that's in Aries, that went into Aries earlier this week, right? Well, last week, if we want to be specific. And then we got Pluto in Capricorn. Let's see, it went into retrograde around May 1st, so it was like earlier on in a couple months. Then within the last month, Saturn went into Saturn that's in Pisces went into retrograde around the 17th, and then Pluto and Pisces went into retrograde on the 30th of June. So it's just something to keep in mind. Okay. All right, so of course, what sign will Venus retrograde will be in? Of course, it will be in the sign of Leo. I will. Okay, so the Leos, the sign of Leo, and then we are in Leo season as well. So there's going to be a little more thing, not only the self equaling the sun, right, is going to be highlighted within the season, but the love, your beauty, the characteristics of Venus, your love, your beauty, how you dress, how you style your hair, how you reimagine home decor, and things that you love and what you value will be highlighted within this period of time as well. So Leo is a fixed fire sign. That means it is it is a fixed fire sign. So they're going with Leos, they are fixated, okay, on the things that they like, they want, and what they desire. Okay, the house ruler for the sign of Leo is the 5th house, which deals with the pleasure. So it is a personal house, so we're dealing with the personal and what brings us joy and pleasure at this time, as far as with fun, babies, art, romance, your inner child like behavior, and how you put play into life. Okay, so the questions that you could ask yourselves, or we can all ask ourselves during this time, is how serious are you? Are you too serious, or are you too playful? That you could go back and review on. Do you add some playful time during your everyday routine, or you just keep it, or you just play it safe? Okay, are you a risk taker, or you play it safe? And it's also another question you want to add into the factor is, how do you give and receive during this time? Are you much of a giver and not a receiver, or you're much of a receiver and not enough of a giver? Because you're also breaking the law of giving and receiving as well. When you do so, if you give too much, you're basically self-sacrificing yourself. Yeah, to where you're not going to have any more energy to fill your cup, or have your cup to continue to be half full. All right. Or you could be the person that's always receiving something, but you're too stubborn to not give. All right. So that's just something, some aspects that you want to go back and reflect on as well. The fifth house also bears the firstborn and how you function as a parent as well. And of course, hobbies that you like. It also is the house where gambling plays a factor into that. But and also with the sign of Leo in general, now Leos make good actors and artists at this yeah, they make good artists and actors. They are loyal when you have their attention, right? And they have big hearts and big hair. Yes, that's one of the aspects, like the physical aspects, that I can detect a person is a Leo, is the big hair, the big mane hair, like the lion that is associated with the sign of Leo, and the confidence and the show off behavior. um there is a difference with being confident and showing off in a positive aspect, and being confident and show off to where it seems a little arrogant, and you're gonna have people to like, okay, calm it down, tone it down. But that's just the personality of a Leo. A Leo, it exudes the confidence, and it shines the light on what aspects that you probably need help of getting to that point as well. Okay, because the when it comes to the planet ruler of Leo, they are associated with the sun. And what does the sun does? It gives life. It exudes positivity and confidence and all that in the bag of chips. Okay. So with that being said, not only we dealing with the planet of love, beauties, and arts and our desires, we are going to be dealing with our confidence, our sense of pleasure, whether it's with babies, arts, romance, hobbies that we love, all that aspect. How do you add play? What is your love language when it comes to um, putting playfulness in your life? Okay. And so let's go on to the final thing, is how can we navigate through this time? All right. So there's a couple of things that just to keep in mind as the as Venus is in retrograde. Okay. So it is not the time for major permanent beauty decisions like plastic surgery, Botox, um, tattoos. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff. Expensive dresses. It's not the time to get expensive dress. It's not the time for hair dye. It's not a good time to repair a living room, because you'll be playing along with other colors and patterns, and you'll be thinking it's all good and matching. Oh, well, you'll be thinking it's so good and stuff like that. But at the same time, by the time um you start really processing it, because it's what's tingling your sight taste buds when it comes to style, and when it comes to home decor in your area. Well, once you really sit in that particular delusional creative aspect of decorating, you be like, what the heck did I just do to my living room or to my house? Your style may get weird around this time. You may um On a regular basis, you may be wearing joggers with a t-shirt and stuff like that. But during Venus retrograde, you may be feeling a little froggy, like, let me put this together and that together. And we just gonna make do what it do. So watch out for that, okay? Dating. It is it gets real sketchy around Venus retrograde time. All I can say is use your discernment when you're dating. If it's starting really fast and to where it's too fast for you to process things, and because when relationships start out fast to where it's like this constant spontaneously, you got that puppy love and all that other stuff going on, and you don't have time to process that stuff, you're gonna end up burning yourself out just based off a high of fast-paced loving bomb energy going on. Okay, so when it comes to the dating aspect, just use your discernment around this time. Use your discernment, reflect on what things are bringing you joy and what things are not bringing you joy, and see if you can reach out to your spouse, your significant other, and see about how to work with that particular issue there. Voice your opinion about, or voice your concern in regards to how this is making you feel, and can we work towards not doing this or that, stuff like that. It's not an ideal time to get married as well. If you are in the process of getting married, I would suggest on the flip side to go for couples counseling or marriage counseling. That way, if you're unsure about a situation around this period of time and y'all are on some rocky stuff before y'all get down the aisle, I would advise just go to couples marriage counseling. That way y'all could be able to reflect on why you're feeling this way and what type of patterns that are triggering you within your past life, your childhood, or adulthood as well, and figure out how we can overcome those obstacles or close out those particular chapters so we can be able to move forward and be with the person that we love at this time. Also, retrogrades is bound for exes to show up. They reappear during the retrograde, right? Bring you back down to memory lane. You may experience some breakups around this time in Venus retrograde. Old friends may reappear, old lovers may reappear. My recommendation when it comes to that type of aspect, it goes hand in hand with the dating and the marriage category on things to try to avoid around this time, which is basically using your discernment and try to seek some counseling or some guidance on how you would like to navigate from this situation, and because it is going to determine on whether you learned the lesson or not. Okay, because again, if you haven't learned the lesson, it's just going to keep coming back to you in a whole nother form until you get so tired and fed up to where you like, okay, I'm done, I'm tired, I'll wave the white flag. All right, so that's just some things that will probably arise within this Venus retrograde, which is, be careful on the hair dye, be careful of the major beauty procedures like Botox and stuff, be careful on how your styling may get weird, or where you want to put some patterns and colors that don't necessarily go together. At this time you're dating, getting married, exes showing up, old friends showing up, old lovers showing up, may experience a breakup around this time. It's okay. Just utilize that time to cool off. Take one day to be in your feelings, right? Just take one day to be in your feelings. Actually, really feel it, and then by the next day, you can just reflect on what patterns that you were indicating during that time you were with that person, or what was triggering you during that time while you with that person, and then formulate a resolution on how you can navigate yourself out of that way you can begin to restore yourself and heal, and then prepare yourself for the next relationship if you desire to be in another one. Okay, if you want some spiritual guidance on that, just feel free to hit me up at the email hsc at hscbottega@gmail.com, or you can just go on my website and just book a session with me, and then we'll chat together. Okay. But overall, just to bring this all back together, this Venus retrograde is really a time to bring closure on healing old flame issues, to get resolved, only to assist in our future and current relationships. Okay, we're figuring out where our values lie within ourselves, and what things that we like that will help spark that fire within us, where we can go along with that passion project or something like that. It's also to test your fate when it comes to relationships. Again, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It can be platonic, it can be business, work, any form of relationships is going to test the waters again when it comes to this Venus retrograde happening. People can be rude during this time, and it's also a time to assess your feelings and your affections as well, figuring out what is really your love language, because that's what Venus is all about. Is not only is about love and beauty and art and stuff like that, but it's also associated with the love language. Figure out what is your particular love language. That is something to explore during this time. That way, whenever you are encountering a person that you like to share your life with, of course you can tell them, hey, this is my love language, what is your love language? And that's how y'all can keep the energy going within a relationship. Okay, at the end of the day, a relationship is a partnership, it's not a hierarchy ship. All right. Y'all are both pouring into each other's cup and supporting one another, and there's no hierarchy in no relationship. You're basically helping each other out, however sees fit within the relationship. Y'all are attending to each other's needs. Y'all are attending to each other's wants, desires. Y'all providing that support mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. Yes, financially can play a factor into that, but that could be one of the ways that ends relationships on the financial standpoint, is because there could be people that are relying their self-esteem of the job title that they associate with themselves, instead of who they truly are without the title. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind during this time. But other than that, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below on this particular topic. I hope this video I hope you found it valuable and learned something new today in regards to this talk with the Venus retrograde. But with that being said, to clear it up, well, not to clear it up. With that being said, if you're looking for spiritual services and support, I am here to assist you. Just go ahead and visit my website, www.honeysolchilbottega.com, and to explore a whole range of spiritual services. I got your energy healing sessions. I got your ancestral healing sessions. I got intuitive guidance, soul-centered encounters, and all that in the bag of chips. Just go ahead and visit the website. I will be changing the seasonal reading to Leo season on the website as well, if you want to get a personal reading from me as well. And of course, I'm just here to dedicate my to your and nurture your spiritual journey at this time, your growth and your well-being. And that is that. Okay, so again, always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself, so you can heal thyself. And stay tuned for some more exciting content. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.